everyone. Welcome to Revenue Rescue. As always, this monthly webinar series is brought to you by the team here at Affinitiv. For those of you just getting to know us, we provide marketing and software solutions to over 5,000 dealerships nationwide, working with every major manufacturer in the country. And we're excited to take some time to share a bit of the knowledge and insights that we've gained through our experiences. So each month, our Revenue Rescue webisode will feature a new topic addressing common challenges within your dealership that may be leaving revenue on the table. All past recordings, in case you missed them, are available on our website, and you'll find a direct link on our homepage, affinitiv.com, leading to topics covering everything from social media to service lane software, campaign planning to conquest audiences, and more. In the end, our goal is really to guide you through solution and strategy ideas to help you make the best decision possible for your business. So today, Courtney Evans, Affinitiv's Vice President of Product, is going to give us an in-depth look at the customer visit. Last month, we talked about data-driven relationships, and you saw how data can connect you to the right customer. But now that they have an appointment, what happens next? Let's talk about data-driven experiences. And with that, I will turn it over to Courtney.
Thank you, Anne, and thank you all for joining today. We're really excited to have you join our third installment of Data-Driven Service, and hope that these last few months have really helped you to learn a lot, and hopefully you gained just as much today. If you as Anne mentioned, if you did miss any of them, there are past recordings on, affinitiv.com, and this is really the third installment, but you don't have to have listened to the previous ones for this to make sense. It just kind of, all goes together. So if you weren't with us the last 2 months, I kind of want to give a brief recap so you understand where we're going. And if you were with us, just a little background knowledge so today makes sense. We kind of dove into the word data. And as most of you guys know, data is really, hot topic in everything that we do now. People are questioning, what it does, where, we get it, how important is it to our business, and, what can it do for us? And in the end, it really affects both your marketing and the relationships that you have with your customers. So if you were not with us, in May, we discussed the importance of data and how it doesn't just uncover new leads and lend to new prospects. It's not just giving you a source of record or someone to contact, but it can also help us to understand our customers better and to help us better communicate to them. So we kind of talked about that customer profile and filling in the blank spots and, how this helps us to create timely, relevant, and targeted campaigns to better market and drive those customers into our service drive or sales drive, either one. So then we kind of continue this conversation in June with, our conversation on data-driven relationships. What does that first party, third party, any type of data that we have, how does it, lead us to better relationships with our customers? We, talked more about, we have access to this data and how do we use it? We can say it again, we want to make sure that we're not just blanket marketing our customers or prospects. We want to make sure that what we're doing is targeted, timely, and relevant. We use the example of the 4th of July campaign. It's one thing to send a campaign to your entire DMS, but then, it also saves us dollars and brings in more ROI if we can, really target those customers who are more likely to respond and say that, these customers need service, these customers are within, driving distance of our dealership and, zone in on them. So having more information on your customers and being able to understand not only their vehicle data, which, in most times comes, is already available in our DMS or CRM, but also understanding the customer and consumer data and how it helps us to market and communicate and how they're likely to respond. That's another huge part of this is not all marketing is created equal to each unique individual. We have to make sure that we're using it in ways that they're going to see it and respond. So we went through the unique profiles and discussed while the customer profile may look similar in your DMS, each customer is truly unique and your marketing should be too. So the importance of data. Why use data? Data can really help us understand a customer from a new perspective. Rather than just looking at the vehicle data that we might have at hand because they purchased the vehicle for us, they've been in for service before, we can take data and zero in on the customer and their consumer data, as well as having this holistic approach to the customer and their likeliness to respond. This helps us spend less and create a better experience for our customer. We don't want to be that person or company that is over marketing and is just being deleted from the inbox or the your cell phone when the call comes up. We want to be the one that when we market, they say, oh, I know this is important. They know what's best for me. So again, you followed all these best guidelines. You use the data to market to a customer, and it was targeted, it was relevant, and they booked the follow-up appointment. They, used your marketing and said, yes, I have to go here. So the hardest part is really complete. You got them. But now what do you do with that? Can data also help you when they come into the service drive? And can it help you to provide a better experience? The answer is really, of course, it can. Data really is as magical as it sounds when used right. And I think that's key. Data is not always used right. And this is where a true partner comes in to help you making sure that your data is up to date, cleansed properly, and used effectively. So let's kind of start at the beginning of that. How important is it to use data outside of your day-to-day marketing and in your service lane? What is the power that this actually holds, and how does this create a better experience for the consumer and make them want to come back? So kind of looking at the current market, we've seen a drastic change over the last 10 years. As many of you guys probably know, due to things like Kelley Blue Book, TrueCar, just the endless, dealerships or service, facilities that have websites, it is making the car buying experience transparent. The amount of margin that a dealer gains by selling a car has drastically declined. And you can kind of see this. We see a steady decline, and it's kind of thought that by 2025, it'll be flat. There will not be much of a margin when you go to buy that vehicle. And that's really only 5 years away. So knowing this and, seeing the proof on the screen, how will dealers create enough revenue to stay in the game? Is there some secret sauce somewhere for this? And the answer really is we need to up the service drive business and get more people in. And that's extremely competitive just because of the endless, online options that you have and the number of independent repair facilities you pass every time you go somewhere. So cars need less and less service. They're getting better, but we're also keeping them longer. So in order to drive those people to your service drive, you need to create that experience. You need to have them pass other places on the way in and make them feel like you understand what they're coming in for. You truly care about the needs of their vehicle and the customer themselves. And we need customers to return for service after that initial first or second service visit that might be covered. So again, just kind of looking at some more current market situations and putting some, oomph behind the statistics. Over the years, the amount of dollars that go into a fixed ops budget has increased, which is great news. But it's still nowhere near the volume of dollars that go into the front end. We're spending way more dollars on our marketing from a front end perspective rather than our fixed ops. And, considering what we just talked about, it's kind of off because our money is being made on the, once the car is being serviced. So it's kind of an old assumption that once a car is brought in, is bought from a dealership, they own the customer and, they'll always come back for, warranty work or work outside of the warranty. But what happens when, there is a closer, more convenient place to service? Or what happens when they find a better offer? You might lose that customer. So again, kind of, talking to the point that we need to make sure that the experience is there. It's elevated. And this is why we need to be devoting more dollars to the service lane and building a better experience. There are lots of opportunities to, spend, a little bit more money on software products or things that help, the overall experience once the customer is there. And, it takes a little bit more, dollars allocated over there, but it's something that is going to help, build that trust, build that relationship, and in the end, keep, customers loyal to you. So, targeted and timely marketing helps to get them in there, but what makes your service experience stand out and make customers want to come back to you? And that's, what we want to talk about today, really. So what role does data play in, the service lane? We kind of, went through, we can use data to bring customers into the service drive, but then we can also use, the data we collect from, our first-party data and our third-party data to help connect those dots between marketing and the experience that the customer has. It can help to tell you more insights about the customers and help to provide a more consistent experience with better communication that not only meets the needs of the vehicle. We all need to remember that the consumer is at the heart of this. And it might not just be that their car drives off without, that sound that they were hearing. It's that they feel that they gain something from the experience, whether it be knowledge or that they feel like they can trust, their service advisor, or that they feel that, it was just a positive experience. Some customers go in just because they like that the dealership has a nice lounge that they can sit in. Some of them go in because, a loaner car was offered. And knowing these things, we can kind of market through both our marketing and our software products to, deliver a better experience. So kind of, taking this and thinking about your marketing and whatever device you use for scheduling an appointment. What if those two are connected? When a customer goes to schedule, they can see the same services and the same offers that were outlined in the marketing piece, providing a more connected experience. Or from the time your customer walks in the service drive, the more you use the tools to help provide that consistent messaging, and everyone in your dealership is communicating the same experience, maybe through a tablet or through internet communication, they're going to feel like it's more supportive and we're not just trying to upsell them on service. So how does it work? What tools are out there that really help provide a more positive, data-driven experience once the customer's here? So there's plenty of tools out there. And many of you guys have heard, from the start of, that we have a lead, you have a CRM that can help to manage all those and, generate some marketing through that. Whatever scheduling device to help connect the marketing to the experience that the customer receives. In-lane tablet solutions that will help assist in making sure the MPI process is seamless. It takes the least amount of time possible and keeps everyone on the same page to, have that consistent communication. And then also kind of assisting with the CSI and scheduling of your next service. CSI, in my opinion, is probably one of the best sources of firsthand data that we can gain. And if you're not using it, we're missing out, because knowing what's working, what could be improved, and then taking action on that, it's invaluable. It's, real life, data coming from your customers. So if we kind of think of this as a funnel, we take all the data that we have about that customer, whether it be, information from previous visits, data we've collected from other sources, information we've gained through their marketing and their consumer habits, and then we use that as they pass through the service funnel. It's essentially prepping all dealer employees for the visit and how to not only service this vehicle, but also the treatment of this customer and the experience they receive. And software kind of connects all those. it kind of helps to deliver the messaging from one place to the next and make sure that we're, communicating the same thing, and also giving our employees knowledge, knowing that they're looking for a certain thing, or that, cost, convenience, the way we communicate outweighs others. And this can help us to make the entire service visit feel like we catered to them. When all these are connected, it really allows the data being used by one to share with another, allowing for it to be that consistent service experience, a more trusted, a more, reliable, experience for the consumer. So we know that, data plays a role, and I kind of mentioned how we can use some of that first party data or the data that we already have. But then if we want to go a level deeper and think about third party data and how it can assist in, the overall experience, we can go there. First of all, it can really help to create your CRM to be up to date and relevant. I mean, think of yourself as a consumer and think of how many times you've put a phone number in that's one digit wrong, or you might have just, put the first letter of your first name, or, an email address that you never, view. We can take third-party data and score those, or, void out information that is not correct. Adding value scores to an email and saying that, this one is relevant, but this is the one that they're more likely to use. I think it's kind of, interesting to know that, I know when I signed up for Facebook or social media, I was using a college email address, and that's not anything that I would ever put on a form at a dealership. And without that information, you can't market on, social media to me. So again, filling in those gaps. A lot of people don't fill in their home phone number. They put their cell phone. So another area that we can fill that in. And then we can get into some of the fun with the third-party data. Taking data that goes on customer or consumer habits. We can get pretty nailed down into the approach that we take. Knowing that a customer drove from miles away or previously moved, we might be able to make sure that they are shown directly to a lounge, have a loaner car available when they show up, or, maybe cater them a little bit more so that they continue to do that. We can also see that, a consumer is more likely to use a coupon or is looking for the best deal. That's just how, their consumer habits trend. So having this information displayed, or, having, information on how you compete, with an independent repair facility is probably priceless. And these can all be displayed on a scheduler, a tablet solution, or can be presented with the MPI and, help to make this experience, something that the consumer is likely to respond to. It also helps that, you don't have to bring in the mailer with, with the service visit. I know I'm guilty of that all the time. I never actually bring in the physical piece of paper. So having, record of this is awesome. So kind of in a nutshell, just like marketing, the more we know about your customers, the better experience you can provide, whether they're in the service line or at home. You can turn a routine service appointment into one that is targeted, relevant, and unique to the consumer, and makes them feel like and understand what they need, not just their vehicle. A lot of times the experience needs to result in that good vibe feeling. You have to have that warm fuzzy that you were taken care of and they understood. It doesn't always come down to being the cheapest or, competitive. Sometimes it's more about, what experience you create and what you can offer the customer. Customers need to feel like they're taken care of, and more than anything. Data can really help us to connect those dots, and the data that we have at our fingertips, or the data that we obtain from other sources, helps us in several ways. It helps us to, us with both knowledge on both the consumer or the vehicle, so that we can, communicate correctly. It also helps us to document and understand prior experiences to better serve our clients the next time around. We talked about, how this is, the software tools are really great at, elevating the experience, because we can understand that customer and, maybe what happened on a prior experience and make sure that doesn't happen. And at the end of the day, it just helps us to better know our clients and what they're looking for. Are they coming in for that specific service, or do they follow the regular intervals, or was it an offer that drove them in? All of these things are very important and to helping better serve your customers. And as in everything that we do, we always want to provide some data, behind what we preach and give you accurate results to kind of show you how effective this can be. $61 more is spent on customers who use, a tool for scheduling versus a walk-in customer. And that just kind of shows that the experience helps to elevate that. They feel more trusted, it's more reliable, and they're more likely to spend money. And those same customers who use the scheduling device have a 12.4 higher retention versus just the walk-in customers. People just walking by, it might be convenient, but we're trying to create loyalty and, return visits. So, making it convenient to schedule an appointment is so important. Using tablet solutions, it's, we're looking at the average time to write up is drastically declining, and it makes it so it is also convenient at the same time. And then we're also, I talked about the CSI scores, Customer Satisfaction Index. It's increasing the more we use this technology and the more we use this data by 15.9%, showing that the experience is just as important as the marketing. And then again, an increase in, overall repair order totals, looking at about 40% increase because we're driving those customers in time after time. And that's what we're all looking for. So the experience that a customer has in the service drive means everything. Do they trust your care? Do they feel it was convenient and easy? And was the communication consistent? The data that we use to connect those dots is also important. And we can use the data that we have at our hands, or we can, layer in that third-party data to make sure that we know our customers the best way possible, and, to create a better overall consistent experience, whether they're here or at home. It really could be the make or break from a return service appointment, and we're just using, the tools and the data that we have at hand to boost that. Both the data that you gain from the experience itself through the CSI, conversations you have with the customer, and, overall the MPI, and then supplementing in and layering in that third-party data is going to help you understand your clients and give a better, consistent service experience, just like we talked about with your marketing. So I think the overall message is just that, data might be a scary word, and it's not new for sure, but it's, how we analyze it and how we use it and what are the best sources out there. The more we, talk about it and understand it, the better our overall business is going to be. And it's something that we should, think about or consider in everything that we do. So I want to say thank you for joining us today. I hope that you learned a little bit more. And if, there's anything that you have questions about, you can always email solutions@affinitiv.com. And we look forward to seeing you next month, where we continue this conversation and hopefully teach you a little bit more. Thanks again, and have a great day.